My name is Beth Greenacre. I am an art advisor and consultant working with private collectors. The exhibition that I have curated with Vortic in collaboration with the Courtauld takes Edouard Manet's Art at the Folies-Bergère as the starting point. The artists within the exhibition have been inspired by the painting or explore some of the themes and concepts that are drawn out by the painting, whether that be exploring perspective, ideas of reflection, identity, the self, and particularly the gaze. Art at the Folies-Bergère has always fascinated me. I've known the painting for many years. It's an incredibly complex painting and one that incites debate even to today. And I think it's as current today as it was when it was first painted. It encourages us to think about looking and being looked at. And I think many of the concerns that we have today living within a contemporary society where we are exposed and viewed are actually really relevant when looking at that painting in particular as a female and as a female viewer. It's very interesting to see Longo exploring what's behind the actual painting, and it's fascinating. What he discovered through the X-ray was that the bartender, the server, originally had her arms folded. So was in a much different position than the full sort of frontal, open presentation that we see today. It's interesting that Longo, like many artists before and after him, have wanted to explore that too. Alexis Hunter was an important feminist artist working in London. I have included her self-portrait in the exhibition. Alexis is naked in the portrait and she's training her camera on the viewer. So again, we have this very interesting experience as the viewer or the audience being photographed, reflecting back into the lens. And I think that's a really interesting mirror of what's happening in Manet's Art at the Folies-Bergère. Juno Calypso explores the world of social media and is especially aware of the male gaze within that domain. She explores how women present themselves and how the lens is often trained on women and subverts that through her photography practice. Bex Massey is the youngest artist that I've included in the exhibition, and I've purposefully done so because she presents us with an alternative gaze. Manet's Art at the Folies-Bergère encourages a metrosexual gaze, whereas Bex literally inverts the gaze. We've included a self-portrait by the artist in which she's used technology to invert the colours on the portrait, meaning that what we see is the opposite of what one would normally see in real life. What's also amazing and exciting within this space is that she has created an Instagram filter whereby you can train your phone onto the portrait and it's inverted back to the real everyday colour scheme. This is the first exhibition that I've curated with Vortic and digitally. However, I've always been excited about the digital space and its possibilities for the art world in terms of audience and the breadth of audience and being able to reach as many people as possible. And I also think working with the digital space right now is particularly relevant. It's incredible to be able to bring so many artists together across different periods without having to consider the environmental impact, for example. All of that's possible with the digital. Curating exhibitions come with many challenges, particularly when you have a physical space to work with. However, when you've got a digital space, I think you can be far more creative. You also have the opportunity of time and you can be quite playful. We can move things around, or somebody can move things around the space for me, and I can curate from the comfort of my home, but we can try so many different possibilities with a digital space. And I think that's super exciting for a curator. Art always asks us to explore existential questions, I think, and suddenly when you're wearing a headset, you're very much by yourself, you're very aware of yourself within this space. And actually I think it allows you more freedoms. You don't mind getting closer, you don't mind pondering, you can spend even more time. You become less aware, actually, physically of yourself, but maybe more aware internally of what you're experiencing whilst looking at the art.